Hey, good morning. Welcome to the shop. My name's Jamie. So today I'm going to be working on a project where I have this toolbox that I have overloaded with machine tools. I'm not sure that I trust the original casters that come on this Craftsman toolbox. This is probably from the 90s. So it's made in the US, at decent quality, but the casters themselves look to be some sort of plastic composite, and we're looking at potentially a significant amount of weight here. And so instead I have these all steel, very heavy duty casters. The problem with these is I have four and they all swivel. I don't really want four swiveling casters. I think I want two of them that are going to be locked so that it'll make it easier to move the cabinet and keep it where I want it to be. In my small workshop, this toolbox will be moving quite a bit, which is why I feel like having some stronger wheels would be better. So the current plan is to take the four swivel casters, take two of them, and I'm going to weld them down to kind of lock them in place. We'll see if I think of anything different, but right now I'm thinking I'm going to weld them to kind of lock them in. So for right now, what I'm going to do is go through, I'm going to pull all the drawers out, I'm going to weigh them all so I can see what weight we're actually looking at. And then we'll take the base, flip it over, and start making a plan for getting these new casters on. Maybe this will be helpful for you for a project you've been thinking about doing. Okay, so there we have it. Let's see, I've got all the weights here. We're looking at 100, 130, 140, 150, 200, 250, like 285 pounds. It's actually not very much. I'm surprised it's so low, but I guess one thing that I almost know for certain is in short time, I'll probably double the amount of tooling that I have. And so that might bring it up to around 500 pounds. So maybe I'm making something out of nothing. I don't know, taking a look at these wheels, like this one's bound up. It's just pressed steel. And just getting really nervous that when I'm moving this, that these wheels are just going to buckle over. But we'll take a closer look. So looking at these casters a little bit closer, there's a couple of things that I guess I've decided. One is it didn't seem at first, I mean, it felt pretty sturdy as far as how the bracket was, how everything was sort of assembled. But when you look closer, you've got a lot of this pressed steel. The wheel itself is this plastic material. This particular bearing is, if it's even it's some sort of bearing surface, is bound up. This one is loose. The swivels just have so much play in them. And what I'm afraid of is in the shop as I'm moving it, I hit a rock, or a little pebble or a piece of a chip or something, and then the weight of the cart shifts and these things buckle underneath the weight. And kind of the last thing for me was that, these are These are just machine self-tapping screws that are holding it into the box. So maybe this will be fine, but I'm going to upgrade. We're going to go to this other. We're going to go to this other swivel that I have here. This is almost 4.5 pounds of steel. This is just over 1 pound. So I know it's, it just, to me, getting these mounted on here will be a big improvement. And the plan is to take, I've got some flat bar stock here, something you picked up at Home Depot, and put these on the inside of the cabinet on each side to add some more stability as we're mounting these in. So I've made a couple of changes in the plans. Decided to try and keep it simple. So instead of using the piece of 3-inch bar, which was actually too narrow for these larger casters, I opted for using the existing bracket. I made a spacer so that I would bolt through in new holes the larger caster more towards the corners. One thing, and then what I did here for the formerly swivel caster is I welded it up so that it's nice and firm now and straight. And by pushing it over here to the edge, I do have a little bit where the wheel, the outside diameter of the wheel goes beyond the width of the cabinet by about 1 inch. But I've moved that touch point outside of I've widened the center of gravity for the cabinet. So I think it's a fair kind of giving up that 1.5 inches of space. If I were to put this back to back with a wall, it wouldn't go up tight against the wall, but I think that's a compromise that I'm willing to make. And then the swivels, these will go on the side with the handle. We'll get these bolted in. And I think this will be so much better than what I was dealing with before. The sturdiness of these casters is probably way over the top, but will make this give me a lot more confidence when we're using it. So after a trip to Home Depot, $20 worth of hardware. Crazy how much these things cost. And I definitely sound like an old man when I say that. I was able to use some of the stuff I had at home, but I had to buy $20 worth of hardware. So, although I did save by returning that 3-inch flat bar, which was $37. So, what I'm doing now, just finishing up the installation with the nuts and the bolts. Got the back side on, and very happy with how strong that is. There's no flex. It's going in pretty nice. So here we go. Let's finish it up. Okay, so it's in. These bolts here, especially these on these inside corners where there's like a channel underneath there that I had to work. So it took a little longer to get those guys in there. But again, these are rock solid compared to what I had before. By moving these out to the corners of the cabinet, I was able to get closer to the edges, much stronger out there. And as you saw on the inboard bolt, I used a much larger fender washer to give me a little bit more support on the inside. overall, I feel good so far. I did grease the wheels, grease the swivels and the wheels on this side. There's a little grease fitting here. Let's flip it over and see how it feels on its right side up. Feels good. Let's get it back together and load it up. Voila. There it is. Let's see. I tell you what, that feels so much better. It's not wobbling. Before it had some sway in it, and now it just feels very solid. So we're very happy with this. All right, that's today's quick one. Thanks for hanging out. If this was at all enjoyable, please hit like, subscribe. You'll see more videos like this. Thanks a lot.